Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so it's time for another of my Battle with Beelzebub series. Today I'm going to talk about my dead router. And because this is phase 2 of my Battle with Beelzebub series, firstly, of course, I have cleared 2 boxes of cans from my home. And I'm going to punctuate this video with 7 points that I have written down to explain them. Okay, so I've been depressed my whole life and struggled with cleanliness. I was injured changing a car tire. This left a 5% bend in my spine, making it hard for me to stand. I struggled with cleaning up my home because of this and had a terrible fly infestation, hence Battle with Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies. I think I've got more than 7 cans here. Yes, I do. I was cleaning up when I found myself back in the hospital with terrible infection, leaving my home, the ravages of my animals for an extended period. And now here I am cleaning things up, which is why it's phase 2. So yeah, this particular piece of detritus here, I've had this for 9 years, and it died. I don't know if I could have got it back working again. It would have been nice if I could have, but, you know, this is, of course, a router, right? And, you know, I don't know why it failed. 9 years is about an acceptable lifespan for one of these. It probably just got old. Cats knocked it around a little, but one thing to understand is this is not something I could just throw away. This is something that is electrical scrap. So it has to be disposed of properly. And I mean, that's one of the more difficult parts of my existence is what do I even do? You know, it's like I've got things that would be considered electrical scrap that are like flat out broken and things that would be considered electrical scrap that are probably still working and I may use. And there is a bottom line that, you know, the eventual goal is to have as much junk as fits. Okay, I don't want to be like, oh, let me get rid of everything because I've gotten rid of things and then later been like, damn, I needed that. So that's not an acceptable goal for this. The acceptable goal for this is always going to be have as much as fits. And that's just one of those things that you're going to have to understand about my situation is, you know, like obviously if this is broken, it is going to have to go out. And electrical scrap is something that you collect, you know, you have a box of it. And when you have enough of it, or when there's a convenient time, you send it to the scrapyard. Well, whatever, however that means. Like, if there's electrical recycling in your area, or you could go to an electrical recycling plant, or whatever have you. That's just one of those basic things that happens with this particular piece of equipment and how it's recycled. But yeah, I mean, you know, one thing I have to point out is that when this failed, this made a major inconvenience in my life. And any inconvenience in my life means that it's one less thing that, or some less time I have to work on this project. And I mean, you know, working on this project is very important because I can't do all kinds of other things until it's done. You know, I have this injury to my thumb here, which is what put me in the hospital. And it's leaking pus again. You know, not a lot of pus. It's mostly plasma. It's not hurting. It's not swelling up any worse. Well, it could be. So I'm not, like, terribly worried. But the thing to do for me to fix this and make sure it doesn't happen again, Wolf, stop fighting, would be to start pumping iron and eating right. Well, eating right involves making sure my kitchen is clean, and pumping iron means cleaning out my garage. So either of these things would not be easy. And it's just, I mean, I can tell you right now I have 3 baskets full, 5 more baskets to fill, and just a lot of work to do, but it's not getting done. So anyway, yeah, just making that next video. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. I'm Richard.
Background courtesy of Photographs of a Mad Richard. Link in the description.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if all is going well, I should be surrounded by a horde of flies. They're not actually in the room with me, but they are flies that did actually live in my house and are now long dead. I used a combination of fly traps like this one, you can see it's covered in them, and actually cleaning up to get rid of them. It was a dark moment in my life. A life full of dark moments. Hi everybody, I'm Danger Ducky, and this is the part of the video where I remind you to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm also giving time for there to be links to the next video and subscriptions. You should comment, like, and subscribe, because for every 1,000 subscribers, this channel will buy a bracelet from Ocean, and that will pull a pound of trash out of the ocean. It's a big ocean, and there's a lot of trash there. We also buy medals from the Conqueror, and every one of those means that 5 trees are planted, so that we will have a cleaner world for you and me to live in. Danger Donkey says, be a good Samaritan, float like a butterfly, and comment, like, and subscribe!